How do you report the news from a hostile environment where life hangs by a thread? This is Palestine's Gaza, and it's fast becoming a danger zone for journalists. Amid the sounds of bombs and sirens, power outages and communication breakdowns, they are chronicling a worsening humanitarian crisis in a tiny stretch of land that many call home. In the wake of Hamas's surprise attack on Israel on October 7, Tel Aviv barred international journalists from reporting from Ground Zero. This put the onus of reporting on local Palestinian journalists, effectively transforming digital creators into citizen journalists who have become the eyes and ears of the world, providing first-hand accounts of Israel's onslaught on Gaza.
It's me, here.
It's me, Mu'taz.
It's day 25.
And the bombing's still going on.
The Israeli occupation forces are bombing everywhere.
Hey everyone, this is Bissam from Gaza. I'm still alive. Today is the day 30 of the war in Gaza, and this might be the last update that I can give to you.
This is routine. She's not maybe 6 months. Her whole family still under the rubbles. Israeli occupation just destroyed her house.
Reporting from Gaza, which has long been under a crippling Israeli blockade and is now under a total siege, has been extremely challenging since Israel began its relentless airstrikes.
مستشفى ناصر بنشتغل بنغطي من هون بنام في المستشفى بنام في السيارة هي أغراضنا بنحاول نبحث عن حمام في كل وقت ما باكل ما بشرب إلا الحد القليل جدا عشان ما أضطر إني أروح دورة المياه.
Many of you asked me how I charge my phone, how others who are publishing all the time are charging their phones. Some families have generators and they turn on the generator for 2 hours to turn on a LED like this and to charge the mobile like this.
The battle for Gaza's journalists is also between reporting and trying to stay alive.
All right. Yumna, please take cover. If you are in a position to do so safely, you can explain to us what we're happening.
لا حماية دولية على الإطلاق ولا حصانة لأي شيء. لا تحمينا هذه الدروع ولا تحمينا هذه القبعات. إنها مجرد شعارات نرتديها فقط. هي لا تحمي أي صحفي على الإطلاق. لا تحمينا هذه الدروع.
Death has been the brutal cost some journalists have paid in covering this war. At least 39 journalists and media professionals have been killed since the start of Israel's Gaza onslaught and violent crackdowns in the occupied West Bank. The majority of the casualties are Palestinian nationals. 8 others have been wounded, 3 are missing, and 9 have reportedly been arrested.
إحنا أكثر من مرة هون في منطقتنا نغادر كاميراتنا وما نقدرش نطلع في رسائلنا لأنه القصف حوالينا في كل مكان.
Several media watchdogs have accused Israel of deliberately targeting journalists to scuttle the voices on ground. On October 13th, Reuters journalist Issam Abdullah was killed while covering Israeli missile attacks at the Israeli-Lebanon border. That wounded other journalists from Al Jazeera and AFP. In response to accusations it was targeting journalists, the Israeli military told Reuters and AFP that it could not guarantee the safety of their journalists working in the besieged enclave, as it was targeting all Hamas activity throughout Gaza.
Targeting journalists is a war crime. There's no justification for targeting journalists who are covering a conflict zone. There's no explanation that can be given.
Rights groups have accused Israel of violating Article 79 of the Geneva Convention, which states that journalists working in war zones are to be protected and treated as civilians. Reporters are also saying that they are facing serious threats while sharing harrowing real-time scenes from Gaza. It's a double-edged sword for many of them who have found themselves going from reporting the story to becoming the story. On October 25th, Al Jazeera's Gaza bureau chief Wael al-Datu lost his wife, son, daughter, and grandson during an Israeli air raid on the Nusayrat refugee camp. His family had sought refuge in the camp following Israel's warnings to all civilians in northern Gaza to move south. Undeterred by his tragic loss, al-Datu remains steadfast on the job.
هذا الصوت ما دام في نفس لن يسكت، هذا أكيد يعني بغض النظر عن الثمن، بغض النظر عن المأساة وعن الجريمة. بالنسبة لهذا الصوت لن يسكت، هذا قولا واحدا وهذا عهد.
Mahmoud Alalol, an Anadolu Agency cameraman, shared the same fates. 4 of his children were killed after a strike on Al-Maghazi refugee camp on November 5th.
أنا قد ما صورت قد ما أخذت صور من لا أطفال شفتوهم أطفال لا في عندي مسلح لا عندي مقاوم ولا عندي أي شيء أطفال.
Israel's war on Gaza has now entered its first month, which has been dubbed by the UN as a tragedy of colossal proportions, one which has been brought to the forefront by these journalists armed with only a camera, a vest, and a helmet. In any war, truth often falls like the first domino in a chain reaction. With no end to Israel's military offensive in Gaza in sight, how will truth be told if their cameras stop rolling?